We will now entertain nominations. Ms. Kushner. Wherever you were most comfortable.
Good evening. I'm Julie Kushner, and I'm a delegate from Danbury. And it is my honor and pleasure to place into nomination the name of Alice Hutchinson. I think most of you in this room probably know Alice for longer than I do, but I have been incredibly impressed with her dedication, her passion, her commitment to public service. She served as first selectman of Bethel. She served on the town committee. She has been a teacher. She has been on the zoning commission. She has a long history of working in the community. And what I like about Alice is that she is very well informed of the issues. She goes and talks to everyone about all of the issues of our day. And I think that she can be a leader, and I think that she can also be a great candidate, a candidate that can really return this 24th senatorial district to the Democrats as it should be. As someone who spends a lot of time in Hartford at the Capitol, in the legislature, talking to our elected officials, it is so pathetic when I get up there and talk to the senator from our 24th district. And it's horrible. He's not somebody who cares about the people, who really works for the people, and we should be done with that. And I believe that with Alice Hutchinson as our candidate, we can actually win this race and win it big and really return it to the people of our district. So I am very proud and very pleased to nominate tonight Alice Hutchinson for the 24th Senatorial District.
Does anyone rise for the purpose of a second? Sir. Sorry. Either one, briefly, please. I'm always nervous when more than one person arises for purposes of a second.
You know it's going to be a long night? Okay, I'll tell you what. I gave a graduation speech once, and the moment I started, the wind blew everything away, and the crowd roared with approval, so go. Let me just say that I am proud to second this nomination for my good friend Alice Hutchinson. Alice has been, I've been privileged to know Alice, my wife and I have been privileged to know Alice and the family as a neighbor and as a colleague and a friend for a great many years. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm Matt Knickerbocker. I'm the new first selectman of the town of Bethel. This isn't about me, it's about Alice, but I bring that up because in the campaign that we ran last fall, a very successful campaign, which was not at all, my running mate and I received a lot of support. Hundreds of people came to support us, donated to the campaign, worked at various times, but I still have to single out Alice as, in my opinion, the primary reason that my running mate and I won this campaign. She is a tireless campaigner. She is one of the most astute people I know about politics. She is sensitive to people's needs. She's responsive to people's needs. She did a great job on our planning and zoning board, a great job as first selectman, and unfortunately, many of the wonderful progressive initiatives were simply cut short by her successor, and I'm proud to be able to do something about that now that I'm in a position to do so. But most of all, Alice is a humanitarian, and she has a deep-seated desire to help people, and that's why she's in public office. I can't think of anybody who would run a stronger campaign than Alice, and it is my honor to second her nomination. And good luck to you. Congratulations.
My apologies.
Well, I'm sort of tracked here, but Tom Quigley can be very good your second or the nomination of Alice. We've known Alice for quite a period of time. We've watched her. We worked very well in Bethel, and at the EFCO meeting, which is a combined unit of all the towns. She works tirelessly as a career. She knows the system. She knows the people in Hartford, and she will serve us very, very well as a senator. I'm honored to have her nominated.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Keneally. Ever so briefly, please.
Good evening. My name is Joe Keneally. I'm co-chair of the Sherman Democratic Town Committee. I rise this evening knowing that Alice Hutchinson will bring her passion and energy to running and winning a campaign for the 24th state Senate seat. Alice's talents and ideas make her an excellent candidate to represent our party, and her deep experience of local issues and challenges will make her a great state senator. Alice understands the diversity of this district. Her service as first selectman and membership in the Housatonic Valley Council of elected officials give her a special insight into the differing needs of our towns and city. She understands that Danbury has varying needs from the other towns, small, medium, and large, and will use her skills to work for everyone. So it's a great pleasure, and I am honored to second the nomination of Alice Hutchinson to be our candidate for the state senate. Thank you.
Are there any other nominations? Mr. Cheney? You like the podium, or would you like? Thank you. Thank you.
Good evening. It's great to see you here all tonight. This is an important occasion coming on the heels of an important weekend. This is the final period for parties to nominate the candidates they feel best represent their ideals and best chance of implementing them in November. And that's why I'm here. I know how much work goes into a campaign, how much time and resources are spent. Not only by the candidate, but by friends, supporters, and parties themselves. I know because I've been involved for myself and the candidates I've supported. For many of us, many of our campaigns leads us right into this room. And it's from this very spot we do city business. And for some of us, this is our political career. But not for all of us. Some of us know this room is important for other than council business. Like tonight, it has wider uses, and one of them is crucial for the future of our senatorial district. This is the room where people learn the issues of the 24th while simultaneously learning limits to municipal power. No matter how we work, there's always much we can accomplish here. Before we realize the inescapable fact that in our state, all power flows to the south from Hartford. That statutes aren't created here, but are applied here. And that if law, like the course of a river, is to change, and we must find its source and change it there. The source is the Connecticut Steakhouse. And my friends, I'm here to tell you, we need a change there. We need a new vision, and we need a new senator. Easy to say, I know, but there's someone who can make it happen. I've known Councilman Rotella for over 20 years, in and out of politics. He was raised in Danbury, attended schools here. He worked on farms and high schools and helped his family during summer in Fairfield, and he knows what it means to work hard. I can tell you, no one has worked harder for his constituents, and no one knows the issues of the 24th more than Paul. I walked side by side with him with the municipal campaigns, and believe me, he wins elections. And from the effort he puts into them, he will be creative with his constituents. Last fall, on last weekend of the council campaign, we knocked on the door of a grumpy Republican. He demanded to know what he was doing on his front porch. When Paul introduced himself to the man, he said, "Oh, you're already set. I already voted for you by absentee." After thanking him for the vote, Paul asked him why. And he replied, "You're okay. You come around here all the time, and even though you're in a different party, you pay attention to the neighborhood." Paul was calling elderly voters one evening when he reached a man who couldn't hear too well. The man kept asking who he was, and Paul kept repeating, "Paul Rotella from the city council. The man's wife was nearby and was pestering him to end the call. The man said to her, "But I think it's someone running for the city council." "Never mind that," the wife shouted. "Tell him to go. You're voting for Rotella." There are reasons the voters re-elect him time after time. He's well-liked, well-respected, and he's earned their votes. When he told me last summer he was running for the 24th, I thought, finally, we have a person we need in Hartford. There wasn't anyone more qualified for the job, were better able to win it. He's gracious with his time, helping officials like Murphy, Godfrey, and Bartlett's campaigns in Danbury's 6th Ward. He backed Wayne Perkins with a promise to deliver the 6th. And even though the election didn't go the way we wanted to, he did promise and he did win the 6th Ward. He reaches out to Democrats in other wards also, finding hot-button issues sometimes months before they're even on the radar. Doing the research and giving his fellow councilmen the time and help they need to prepare in positions. Paul doesn't back down. If the law is bad for the city, he'll take it right to the no vote. He'll explain why. His reputation for standing up to opponents while simultaneously enjoying their goodwill is well deserved and makes him an affordable force in the area of politics. He'll take on Danbury's incumbents right in his backyard. And for those who don't know, our parents' Emerald lives right behind him. And he'll beat them in November. Paul will go to Hartford with a clear agenda and a sense of purpose from the experience gained as four-term municipal legislator, working successfully and forcefully here in this very room. He knows the problem, and he already researched the solutions. He's fully prepared and ready to serve. He is the best chance we have in capturing this seat. I nominate Paul Taylor Rotella for the 24th candidate, Connecticut State Senatorial District.
Is there a second? It's my understanding I am recognizing Mr. Louis Rotella for purposes of a second. Second. Fran, you right there. For those that are unaware, Mr. Rotella, who just seconded the nomination, is Paul's father, who joins us this evening.
I took care of him, and I don't the best they do the best they do all the time.
Thank you, Louis. Are there any further nominations? Are there any further nominations? Are there any further nominations? The nominations are closed.
Mr. Chairman, Tricia Lewis is here.
Aye. We will get to that. Before we proceed to the vote, there are at least two additional individuals who've come in. Tricia Lewis from Bethel is now present, and Rachel Austin from Danbury is now present. Are there any other delegates who have come in since we took the roll call? There's no response. Oh, my apologies. Glenda Armstrong is also here. You may have been here for the end of the roll call. I do not recall. Glenda Armstrong is also here.
We now have a count of
I believe, Mr. Secretary, I believe the count is now 37 present, 1 absent.
Correct.
37 present, 1 absent. We will proceed pursuant to state party rules to a roll call vote for the purpose of nominating a state senator, a Democratic candidate for state senator. Please signify your vote by either indicating Hutchinson or Rotella, or that you abstain. You cannot vote yes or no because that is not, we cannot translate that into a vote. Hutchinson, Rotella, or abstain. Mr. Secretary, could you please call the roll?
Matthew Knickerbocker. Alice Hutchinson. Tricia Lewis.
Alice Hutchinson.
John Menti.
Alice Hutchinson.
Bill Taylor.
Hutchinson.
Frank Andrews.
Hutchinson.
Glenda Armstrong.
Hutchinson.
Rachel Austin.
Hutchinson.
Hutchinson. Barbara Baker.
Hutchinson.
Beth Bogus.
Rotella.
Patricia Bowen.
Rotella.
Eileen Coladarsi.
Hutchinson.
Kevin Morgan.
Hutchinson.
Helen Cook.
Portello.
Gladys Cooper. Ellen DeBose.
Portello.
Diane Epinger.
Hutchinson.
Bernard Gallo. Julie Kushner.
Hutchinson.
Here again, Galvis. Hutchinson. Ken Gucker.
Hutchinson.
Joan Hodge.
Portello.
Francis Karras.
Rotello.
Louis Rotello.
Vote.
Louis. Portello.
Rotello.
Pat McCleary.
Hutchinson.
Tina Moranti.
Portello.
Kathleen Molinaro.
He's absent.
That's correct. Ben Cheese.
Hotel.
Lynn Taversack.
Alice Hutchinson.
Pearl Turk.
Portello.
Susan Ward.
Portello.
James Mullet.
Hutchinson.
John Mashinko.
Hutchinson.
Philip Nelson.
Alice Hutchinson.
William O'Keefe.
Alan Hutchinson.
Thomas Quigley.
Hutchinson.
John Scott.
Hutchinson.
Jeffrey Ginsburg.
Hutchinson.
Joe Keneally.
Hutchinson.
Mr. Chairman, the vote is Alice Hutchinson 25, Paul Rotello 12.
That is the count I have. Is that the count everybody else in the room has?
Yes.
Seeing no objection, the vote is now closed. Ms. Hutchinson prevails 25 to 12. Ms. Hutchinson, would you care to step forward for purposes of an acceptance speech?
Thank you. The first person I'd like to thank is Paul Rotello for his service to the city of Danbury. It is honorable, and we all thank you. Julie, thank you for that nomination. It warms my heart. I hope I can live up to your words. Thank you, Matt, Tom, and Joe, for those thoughtful seconds. I appreciate it.
And third.
And thank you to my daughter, Sarah, for being here. It means a lot to me. Thank you, Sarah. The race against Mike McLaughlin is going to be a challenge, to say the least, and it's going to take a lot of hard work, but I am up to the task. This past legislative session was a painful reminder of the need for Democratic leadership that is willing to draft a state budget that does not leverage our children's future. Connecticut desperately needs tax reform. I watched the public hearings from the Appropriations Committee where so many basic services, those in the most need, were begging for the core of their programs to remain intact, all while the wealthiest of Connecticut citizens have loopholes that leave them not paying their fair share. Locally, I attended the Danbury public hearing on the budget. I will never forget the art teacher that pleaded for the support that she needed. And if the cuts proposed were implemented, there would be one art teacher for 1,100 students. How did we get to this point? More importantly, how do we turn this boat around? We need to stay focused on the most important issues that face our district: quality education, education funding, creating jobs, growing business, supporting our existing businesses, promoting affordable places to live, clean water and clean air, preserving our open spaces, adequate infrastructure, support of public transportation and the rail system, keeping Candlewood Lake clean and safe for all to enjoy. As a former First Selectman, my experience exploring regional solutions to our problems and needs has always proved the best way to serve our problems together. For a state with some of the best educated educational, sorry, I misspoke. For a state with some of the best educational institutions in the country, we should not be losing our graduates to out-of-state jobs. But Connecticut is dead last in job growth, So there's little here for our youth to look forward to for employment. There is no reason for Connecticut not to be the Silicon Valley of the East. We have the educated workforce and the drive. We should be doing everything we can to attract, retool, and promote green, smart, forward-thinking businesses to our state. We should not be losing our businesses to neighboring states. From 1994 to 2003, approximately 53,900 manufacturing jobs were lost overall. We need not only hold the line, but help retool our workforce and keep utility costs down to keep and support those jobs in Connecticut. As a former member of the Connecticut Conference of Municipalities Transportation Task Force, we discussed expansion and support of the rail service back in 2004. Allowing commuters from Danbury to Stamford in New York the opportunity to get off crowded highways and help preserve our air quality is a priority. According to the study by the Housatonic Valley Council of Elected Officials, the expansion of rail service for the Danbury line to New Milford and the electrification of the entire line has been planned for years, but must be implemented. New Fairfield has battled to get clean water since well before I worked there in the 1990s. The current Shaw's location in the neighboring shopping center has been dealing with remediation of toxic materials from a former dry cleaning business at the site for nearly 20 years. Potable drinking water should be a right, not just another issue on a long list of things to take care of when time allows. Thank you to Jim Millett and Tom Quigley for helping me to better understand the complex issues of New Fairfield's water problem, and I look forward to further discussions on that issue. I believe in clean elections, which is why I support and I am participating in the Citizens Election Program. This worthy and innovative program keeps corporate greed out of our elections and is well worth fighting for. I will continue to fundraise under the guidelines set by the program and look forward to spending the balance of the campaign with a focus on getting important issues to the voters. Michael McLaughlin does not speak for me. Saying no is not crafting proactive legislation. He even voted against Sustanet, which is designed to control healthcare spending and save money for those hurt most by our broken healthcare system, small businesses and individuals with no insurance or inadequate coverage. The Tea Party and the support for the 10th Amendment issue not only does not represent me, but I do not think it represents the majority of the electorate in the 24th either. As I launch this race tonight, I look to each of you for your thoughts, perspectives, and insight. I look forward to knowing better the needs of each municipality and how I can best help us to preserve a way of life that is meaningful to each of us and at the same time move us forward, prepared to face the challenges that our changing world places before us. I proudly and humbly accept your nomination as State Senate candidate from the 24th District. Thank you very much.